Now we're going to divide two polynomials. But before we work this problem, I want to do a flashback when you first started dividing. Now, some students today learn, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? And this is the mnemonics that they use. And when we first started dividing, here's an example. Let's say I wanted to divide 377 by 4. So I would go, 3 would not go in, 4 won't go into 3, but 4 will go into 37. So I'm dividing that, and it will go 9 times. Then this means divide. Then I'm going to multiply, subtract, check, and bring down. So now I'm at the point where I've divided, I multiplied, now I'm going to subtract, I'm going to bring down the 17, and 4 go into 17 4 times. And you repeat this process. You divide, you multiply, you subtract. We have a remainder, and instead of saying r is equal 1, we would put 1/4. So we're going to use this same concept. The only thing is we're going to take out the check. Okay? So let's divide m plus 3 into m squared minus 7m plus 9. Now, what's important here is the first letter. So how many times will m go into m squared? We know m times m is m squared. So once we take that, we're going to multiply m times the entire divisor, which is m squared plus 3m. So we multiplied, and we're going back over here. Now we're going to subtract, and if you do everything correctly, the first one will cancel out. So this is going to change. I always circle when I change my sign. So that cancels out, and now we have negative, negative, so that's a negative 10m. So we subtract it. Now we're going to bring down, and we'll start over. How many times will m go into a negative 10m? So we know that that is a minus 10. We'll come over to the side and multiply a negative 10 by m plus 3. That's a negative 10m minus 30. Negative 10m minus 30. Again, we're going to change the signs. So this becomes plus, this becomes plus. They cancel out. They cancel out. So now we're going to minus, let's see, negative, negative. So now we have a plus 39. So we show that we have 39 over m plus 3. So our final answer is m minus 10 plus 39 over m plus 3. Now we're going to divide, but we're going to call this 6 another polynomial. So let's rewrite this. We're going to use the same strategy. If you like that strategy, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? Go ahead and use that. I use that analogy so you can see that dividing polynomials has the same steps that you would when you first learned to divide back in 3rd grade. So the first thing we're going to look at is the 2n, and how many times will 2n go into 4n squared. So we know that's 2n. We're going to go to the side and multiply 2n times 2n plus 2. That's going to be 4n squared plus 4n. I'm going to change my signs. Now we have 2n minus 1. Again, how many times will 2n go into 2n? We know that's 1 time. So we're going to say plus. Let's change that color. Plus 1. So that would be 2n plus 2. I'm going to change the signs. So now we have a -3 remainder, and I'm going to add that and put the divisor at the bottom. Now, you may have said, okay, if this had been -2, then the problem would have come out even. And if you would like to check these, multiply the divisor times the quotient, and then add 3 to that. Let's quickly do that. So I have 2n plus 2, we're going to check, times 2n plus 1. And I'm going to use the FOIL, first, outer, inner, last. So I'm going to take the first term times each one of the terms in the second parentheses, and then the second term times each one of the terms in parentheses. So I have 2n times 2n. I'm putting that in green because my lines are in green. 4n squared plus 2n. We have plus 4n plus 2. Okay. And then I'm going to come back. Let's go ahead and solve this portion. We have in common 4n squared plus 6n plus 2. And remember, we had a -3 remainder. So if I take the -3 here, we have what we started with, 4n squared plus 6n minus 1.